Hi everyone, and it is the 1st of December, so I can't really not do a Christmas type page today. Now I've picked one from this Colouring Heaven Pocket Christmas Critters, but what I did was I picked one that I felt had a lot of elements in it that we would find in just general Christmas pages. So if we come in a little bit closer, you can see we've got candy canes, we've got bells, holly, and I just figured that it would be a good one to colour, because even if you don't have the book, there will be hints and tips that you might be able to follow to colour these various elements. I'm using my Schpirerr Farben pencils, and let's just get going. I'm actually going to start with the bells, and I shall come in a little bit closer. And I've decided to do them in gold, so I'm going to make a gold colour using these pencils. I'm going to start with the dark brown. I haven't opened out all my layers. I always do that. Let's pop that layer there. There we go. I always forget there's 4 layers, but never mind. It's 'cause... So here is the dark brown, and we're going to mark out the darker areas on our bells. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. Now this particular picture, you can see it's got some markings on it. Can you see these sort of greyed areas? Now you can use these as a guide, or you can just colour over them. But I know that I want my edge to be darker, like this, anyway. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Now this piece and this piece could do in a different colour, but I don't want to. I want the whole thing to be gold, so I'm just going to carry on through like this, my whole bell. So I am trying to put a few extra layers on the edge and a few less towards the middle, and just going through. Now I've just realised this is actually quite a big picture, but I've got to fit it all into one video, because tomorrow I think it's planner day. Let me look. Yeah, so that's okay. So here, this is the inside, so I figure it will be a bit darker, so I'm going to put that brown on a bit darker and take it further in like that. Now we've got this little ringer, it's marked there, which is what I'm going to do. Ringer, what's that actually called? Clapper, is it called a clapper? Can't think. Anyway, had an exciting morning, I tell you about it, while I am just marking in these dark areas. Now there's a dark line here. I wouldn't necessarily put a why would there be a shadow there at the bottom? I don't really understand that. On this bit, I'm going to put it all the way around. Anyway, I'm going to worry about that bottom bit in a minute. So we went shopping to a shopping mall, which is some distance away. It's some Friday today, and I'm just going to put a bit there. I think that's all I want on that one. And so nobody was at uni or work today, so we thought it'd be a good day to go shopping. My son needs a suit. He's got an interview in February, and he was keen to sort of get one. So we found that there was a place in the shopping mall that did them. So I knew that there was very unlikely that they would have exactly what he needed in the shop. But I said he needs to go and try them on, and then we can get him, you know, the colour he wants online or whatever. So we had great success doing that. We found the one that he liked. I am now going to use a slightly lighter brown. Whoops, I interrupt my story. The honey brown, I think, is the best for this next bit. Here it is, honey brown. How clear that is. And anyway, so yeah, he found that, and the jacket we could get, but not the trousers. But he said he wanted the jacket to buy it in the shop, because the inner fabric on the jacket, you know, the lining, it varied, it said on the website. Me and him had been looking yesterday, and the one on the website he thought was really vile. So he wanted the one from the shop which had the lining in that he liked, which was fine. And It was quite interesting actually trying on the jacket, because my husband borrowed a tape measure. They do suit measuring in the shop, so borrowed a tape measure and just quickly measured his chest, and then picked up a jacket of that size, and it was absolutely tiny, because he has got a small chest but he's got broad shoulders, so he had to go up about 2 sizes, and it fitted him really well. It was a bit, I thought he might get a bit lost in it, but he didn't, which was good, because although he is tall and broad, he's very slim. But what happened was when he sat down, it did sort of look a little bit gapey. Not, you know, when he had the button done up, but it was fine. You know, it fitted him smartly on the arms and stuff, so that was really good. My other son doesn't think he'll need one, because he's going to be working in IT, and he's not entirely sure that he's really, I think he might need one for an interview. But anyway, he wasn't interested, so we didn't do it for him yet. So we did that. The trousers were the wrong size. He just said, you know, when he did his belt up, they were really scrunched up. So he ordered a smaller size, and they didn't have one in the shop, so it's going to be delivered to us. That's fine. I am now going to use the colour called Maple. There we go. Oh, there it is, Maple. Again, I'm going to go over everything and just extend our colour into the centre. Now don't worry about the fact that this looks like it should be different. We'll fiddle around with that at the end. So we bought the jacket, paid for the trousers, and they're going to be delivered to us. So that was all good. We did have to pay quite a delivery fee. They said, well, if you have it delivered into store, it's free, but we don't have a local store. So it was fair enough. It was just the way it was. So we got that all organised, so that was great. And then we went into the Lego store they have at this mall, which is just opened. And I haven't been to a Lego store for a long time. Our nearest is in Wales, so we haven't been in Cardiff. This is the capital of Wales, so I haven't been for a very long time, so that was very exciting. And looked at all the different things they had in there. Came back, I bought some sort of Lego Christmas decorations, which were really cute, and you have to obviously make them, as you would guess, with Lego, and that was good. And yeah, it was lovely in there. Very busy, but their shops always are, and of course because they have little stations where children can play, that can make it busy. I mean, it was a school day, so there weren't big children but there was a sort of Duplo one for the little ones, and that one was quite busy, which was sweet. And someone was playing with a Peppa Pig Lego. That's very cute. But yeah, it was a nice store, good fun. We could have bought a lot more, but we were very restrained. Well, we have to be a bit careful with our budget. There were loads of things that I'd love to have bought, but you know, Christmas is coming, it's not about buying for yourself, is it? Right, my next colour, I was just checking what I'd done there. I think Golden Sun will be rather nice. Oh, that's golden yellow. Oh yeah, I called it the wrong name on my list. This is golden yellow, that's what I want, sorry. Golden yellow. Again, I'm still going over everything. It helps to burnish it all a bit, make the colour a bit more intense, and also just make it all look warmer and prettier. I'm going to use one more colour after this because it's quite a big area. I don't think I've ever done gold with these pencils. I may have done. Can't remember. But it's generally I use exactly the same technique. Dark brown, mid brown, ochre yellows. and then yellow. We're just using an extra colour this time because we've got space for it. Hopefully it'll all work. Now the amount of white you use is up to you. I tend not to leave a big area, but you could leave an area that big really, but I prefer not to. It's really up to you. If you're copying a photo or something, you might want to copy where the light and dark is on that. Most things don't look exactly like I colour the gold. I just do it in the way I find easiest really, which is probably not the best way to get the best result, but makes it fun for me. Right, last colour coming up. So that was golden yellow. I think I'm going to use the yellow. I think it's that one. Yeah. Yellow. I'm going to start on this one first. We'll start here. Now my aim here is to close up that white gap until I feel that it is the right sort of size. Okay. See how vibrant this is. It's making everything really bright and glowy, which is rather nice. I'm pulling that in. So we've only got a small gap. I may lower it even more. As I say, it just depends what I think as I get through it. I might decide. Sometimes I don't like having like a stripe. I feel like it should be there as well. But anyway, pretend that's all okay. I think I will bring it in a bit more so that it's very slim and you can barely see it. Getting into practice. I haven't done much Christmas colouring yet this year. I think this is my third picture, maybe my fourth. So got to get used to it again. So yeah, it's I am beginning to feel a bit Christmassy. It's still quite early. What is it today? November the 15th. Early, but I do like to get it done early, as you know. Right, we are now going to go back to our dark brown and put some more shadowy parts in. So I'm just sharpening it up ready, because we are going to go under here. And what I want to do, try and make it look like this is sticking out a bit. I think I'll pop a bit on the top as well. That might help us. So it looks more three-dimensional, the idea. And here, I want to make it look like this bit is further in. And then making sure it looks quite shadowy under there, like that. This one under here. And above, oh, went over the lines then. And above here. Yeah, the shopping centre was all decorated for Christmas already, which was nice. So they had some big silvery groups of balls hanging down, which are quite pretty, sparkly. Some people might not like. Some people prefer a sort of, just making it dark there so you can really see that clapper a bit better. Some people prefer colour, you know, bright colour. But I think plain colour can look a bit more classy. But it depends what you're going for really, doesn't it? I just like bright, cheerful and blingy and lovely. I don't think about whether it's classy or not. So there are our bells. Let's come down and have a look at where we're going next. Let's do the holly. Now we can look at the holly and see how it's marked. It's marked across the centre on these lines. We could copy that. Let's have a look. What should we use? I think the casino green is quite a good one to start with for our darker green. I've got to find it. There it is, casino green. And I think what I'm going to do is mark my darker areas. We'll start with this piece. So we're going to follow the lines that are drawn on here. And then I might put some around the edge as well. What I think. Maybe not. Maybe just follow the lines that are here. A bit of a shadowy bit under there. Sort of along here. I'm also thinking about these stems. Whether they should be the same colour. I'm not sure now. We've got a bit there. Can you see this sort of bit here? Is that some holly behind, or is this a bit of the ribbon? I don't think it's the ribbon. So I think that's a bit of holly there. So I need to colour that bit in where there would be some shadow. I think there and there, like that. Then this one. Now you can just follow the lines like I'm doing at the moment, but you can also add in a bit of your own. You can fade it a bit. It's up to you, your picture. Now I'll go over here and do this one. See, this one's got an outline on this lower part, which I think is quite good because it looks a bit shadowy. But I think a bit underneath the berry might make sense as well. But rather than just doing a line, I might just scumble it out a bit, make it a bit less harsh. So it's up to you how you choose to do it. This is just a few ideas, I guess, like that. And then we've got this half one again. Again, it's got a dark line down here, which I think makes sense because it's sort of be shadowy. And then this one, just seeing if you can see clearly. I think you probably can. Now I'm looking at these candy canes while I'm colouring this and thinking there's quite a bit of grey in some areas on these, so I may not colour in the white bit. Often I'll do a bit of grey in the white bit. I might just leave it. Now where is the edge of this holly? I think that is a bit of the holly, and then that's the stem. That's my guess anyway. What I think I'm going to do is choose a lighter colour for the rest of the holly, and I might use that for the stems and see how it looks, whether I think it needs the darker bit or not. Now these pages can be really quick. What you can do, and I've seen people do this, you just grab your alcohol marker or your pen, even your water-based pen. You will need to put something behind the page to make sure it doesn't go through to the next picture. And I would use something waterproof just in case. You know, I usually use a laminate behind mine. I'm just going to scumble that a bit. I don't want it to be too harsh. Just checking. What's that? I think that's a bit of that candy cane. So I think we're there. So I want a lighter green that's still quite bluish. I'm going to use the shamrock. I think it's that one. Oh, that's the moss. Where is that? Oh, it's that one. There it is, shamrock. Let's start with this one at the bottom. Can you see it? You can. So I'm just going to fill it in really with this colour and see how it sits. What was I saying? I don't know. Oh yes, you can use a marker and just put an even layer across the whole thing, and then where those extra dark, where the sort of grey bits are, just put another layer of pen once the other layer's dried to just make it darker, and you can just mark it out like that. And I've seen them done like that. It looks very effective actually, but I do think when I use a marker and it just dries flat, it does look really flat, whereas you don't, it's very hard to get a flat look with a pencil, so it's not something that I'm used to seeing. Now I'm going to build up some colour in some areas like the bottom here. So yeah, so I find that looks a bit odd to me, and I've been playing with pens actually a little bit at the moment, and yeah, the flatness you get with them is quite alien to me really. It's interesting but a bit odd. Okay, so there's that one. This one, I'm going to go harder over this bit here and fade it out towards this edge. I'm not sure I really chose the best colour. Never mind. Yeah, I was looking for a few gift ideas while I was in some of the shops. When husband and boys were looking at other things, I was just sort of having a quick random look, and my goodness, the rubbish that you can buy, the tat, it's just like things that nobody needs, that they're just going to use a few times and throw away. It's like, oh, do people really buy these things? Like, you know, if you can't think of something to buy for someone, then just buy them a pair of socks that they'll at least be able to use, or, you know, something they can eat or drink that again they can either use or donate to a food bank or something. You know, it just seems so wasteful. I mean, some of the things that, you know, Christmas socks, they're good, you can wear them any time, things like that, you know, the sort of sweet treats and drinks and things, obviously, you know, people will use those. But the sort of weird and wonderful games that, you know, I found this game where you could, it was so that you could practice your golf strokes while you were sitting on the loo. It's like, really? What's that all about? Huh? I mean, maybe it's funny, but, oh, I don't know. I just don't get it. But, yeah. I guess some people need like a Secret Santa gift or something for someone in the office they don't know very well. But just buy them a mug and some chocolates, you know. Buy them a, I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. Buy them a chocolate orange and a mug or something, you know. Again, mugs, some things are quite good because they can be re-gifted as well, you know, or given to charity shops like mugs and things. But like a game like that, if you take it out and you play it a bit, then it's played with, you know. But anyway, it's just my thought when I saw all these things. I was like quite horrified, to be honest. It's because I normally do my Christmas shopping in my local shops, and we don't have a lot of chain stores, we have a few, but mainly little independents. They have stuff like that, you know. I think because they have to be able to sell it all year round, really, if they can. They don't tend to get specialist gifty type things in. I think the chemists do, you know, Boots, Superdrug, those shops, because they sell toiletries, so you get the sort of toiletry packs, which again, really useful present, you know. It's a great gift, I think. So I was looking for something for my niece actually. She's quite hard to buy for because she lives in shared accommodation, you know, in a student house, and she hasn't got much room to put anything. And my mum is buying her a big parcel with loads of different treat foods in and a bottle of rum. So I don't want to sort of get her loads of food as well because it's a bit of a copycat. No, I don't want to take the edge off my mum's present. I don't think it would really, but you know, so I was looking for things for her. But and I bought her socks last year. I bought everyone's socks last year. It's funny because I was in a shop buying socks and someone said how funny it was that socks used to be thought to be a bit of a rubbish present, but now there's so many lovely pretty socks, and you know, they're so nice that you no longer think that it's, I mean, I've never really thought that it's a rubbish present anyway, but you know, that it's a really nice thing to give these days. So but I'm not sure. I will keep thinking, and I'm sure by the time this video goes out I would have found something. I'm trying to get my shopping done early. My other niece, I think, has COVID at the moment, so it makes you think, oh, she's okay, but it makes you think, oh, we better be careful just in case. I'm going to use the jungle light to if I can find it, to just go over this. I'm not too keen on seeing so much white paper through, and I'm not very keen on the colour. I think this will work, and just like I'm going to start up here, I think it will just bring it all together a bit better. Yeah. So if you're colouring holly and you haven't got this sort of grey marks on the page, you might want to leave a few white areas where you're trying to show that it's a bit shiny, because holly is really shiny, as I'm sure most of you will know. But the other way you could do is use some white pen and put some shine here and here, just to actually draw it on, because it really is that shiny that it would look white in the places where it shines. So I think you could do that. So that would be easy. I may do that. I haven't decided yet. I might forget. Anyway, you know what I'm like. Say I'm going to do something, never do. What happened to that? Don't know. Came out my mouth but went out my brain. But yeah, it was fun shopping. Had we not been with the boys, I think we might have wandered around a lot more, but they do get bored very quickly. And also needed to get back. One of my sons needed to do, the one who wanted the suit needs to do some revision, and also we all wanted some lunch, because we didn't want to eat out. Well, it's my husband's allergic to everything. Well, he gets intolerant to a lot of things. Like me, we both intolerant to onion, chilli and garlic, which makes eating out quite difficult. I also like to be healthy and have whole grains and things like that. You just can't get it. So it was easier just to come home, and we weren't that late for lunch. Oh, I've got hiccups though. I just made sure the hungriest people got their food first. And actually, we usually make toast and make ourselves a couple of slices, but I've got a full slice toaster, so it meant that all of us could have a bit and then put some more on for after, so we could all tuck in quite quickly. So that was good. It all worked out very well in the end. That's I'm much preferring how this is looking now. By the way, I know I've got to do the little berry stalks, so I've got to think about that. We'll get there. I'm going fairly fast to finish this off. The pencil goes down quite nicely on this paper, which is good. I don't think I've tried these pencils on the Colouring Heaven paper, but they go down quite well. I haven't found a paper that doesn't suit them actually, although I haven't tried them on my really temperamental papers, my Lulu Mayo and Millie Marotta papers. Some papers are much more, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. They work better with lots of different brands of pencil. Right, now I think I'm going to do the stems in the Casino Green really dark, because I think then they'll stand out, which is what I think they need to do. So I'm just sharpening it because I need to get into the little detail. So we have one here. Here. And then all these over here. And we're going to do the berries next. Exciting. Now I can't decide whether that leaf comes on under here or not, but I don't think it does. No, I've left it. It's up to you. You might want to colour that in. I don't know. Right, we need some red. Now, we want a proper red, and I'm looking at the colours. And I actually think the coral is our best. Where is it? Is that it? No. There it is. It's a more orangey red, which I think is what I need. But I'm going to try it. Where are all the berries? We've got one there. I'm going to try it, and if it doesn't look right, then I'll put some other colour on top of it. So I'm going around the edge. I'm actually ignoring the markings because I know what I want to do. Around the edge, and then slowly bless towards the centre. It's easier on a whole one. This one's trickier because it's partially hidden, but we can still go around the edge and then a bit less. Like that, just reduce it towards the middle. And then this one. I'm trying to decide what colour to do the ribbon. I would normally go for a red, but we've got all these berries nearby, so that's why I've left it really. I think it's always good with a page like this, where you're going to know what colours you want to do your berries and your holly, for example. Possibly. I mean, you might not do them correct. I say in inverted commas, you might decide to do them pink and purple or something like that. Would be nice, wouldn't it? But if there are parts where you know what colour you want to do, then do those first, and then you can think about what is going to work for the rest. What do you want it to stand out? Do you want it to sit back? How's that going to work colour-wise? That sort of thing, you know. That will help you. Now we might just go around the edge of these berries in a slightly darker colour just to enhance it slightly. I think I did that with my picture I did the other day. Oh, dropped my pencil. There is a ruby brown which I'm going to use. Here it is, ruby brown. I'm just going to use that along the edge of the berries just to make them look a little bit darker, mainly on the bottom, although I'll do a bit on the top. Just to sort of help exaggerate that shadowy bit there underneath. I can still see the grey through a bit, so that can help me a little. Where they overlap, there'll be shadow too, like that. Same on this one. Now I'm really thirsty, my cup of coffee is getting cold, so I'm just going to stop and go and get my drink, but I'll be back almost right away. Right, that's better. Now the candy canes I'm going to do next with some red. Now I'm going to use the more pinky red. I think the watermelon might work for these. You can use the same red as the berries. Oh, I dropped it. Here it is, watermelon. But I think it's nice to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to start on the end. I'd like to do is make it this red in the middle, but I don't know if the way it's been filled in is going to quite work. We'll see. I like to make it look like there's a little bit of a shine. Try and line it up so that it goes along the same point all the way around. You So I had a parcel due to be delivered this morning, and I got a notice about an email yesterday saying it was going to be delivered. So but you can reply to the email and change it. So I replied to the email, ask if it could be delivered tomorrow instead, because no one in, because we're going out, you know. So I did that, and then this morning I got a message. Now we've got thinner and thicker bits. I'm not sure. I think I'll just start with red on the tip again. And then this morning I got a message saying it was being delivered today. So it's like, I asked for it to be delivered tomorrow. So I thought, well, what can I do? So I put my neighbour's number on it and then messaged him and said, oh, I hope you don't mind, but I put your name on this. He often does it for me. So and he went, I'm out all morning. I thought, oh no. So I tried to go back and change it to a different neighbour, and I couldn't. Now is that all one? I think we'll leave that one white and do this one red. And so I couldn't change it. So I was like, oh. So I thought, oh well, if they can't deliver it, they'll bring it tomorrow anyway, so it'll all be fine. Got home, there was a note saying we've left it in a safe place in your gas box. Now we have a gas sort of cover over our gas meter right by the front door, and they left it under there. Right, this lollipop, I like the idea of doing this red and white as well. Oh, we haven't done this bit of the candy cane because of course it comes through here. Let's do that first. So back with our watermelon. I'm gonna do the, I've done the thicker ones red, haven't I? So just sort of carry on with that. I was thinking, what's that bit? I'd remembered before. Okay, so I'm quite keen on doing this one red and white too. So I'm going to use a slightly different shade of red. This one's called True Love. Oh, sweet. And where should we start? We'll start with this one. Now when you do a lolly, you need to try and, that's got a curl like this one, you want to try and make sure that it looks dipped in along the edges. So what we're going to do first is to start with this first one. I'm going to make it darker on each edge. So this is dark on the middle, but we also want it a bit darker here, like that, and go all the way around doing the same sort of thing. And just working around our spiral. Now you might not want to do this the same colour as the candy cane. I'm just really in the mood for reds and greens, the sort of reds, greens, golds colouring at the minute, but I'm sure as the month goes on I will change my mind and feel like I'm more into doing other colours, so sort of do that like that, I think. Now again, I'm just going to leave the white because it's been marked up in some grey, don't need to do much more, but in this gap we can make that shadow look a little bit darker. Again, I think I'm going to use this ruby brown colour. I need to sharpen it well so that I can really get that colour in to the gap. Ooh. Pencils sliding everywhere. So just putting it in there. Under here, just going all the way around. There we go, just that little touch. You could do it on the outside as well, but I'm happy with it like that. Now this heart shape is quite tricky because I don't want to move too far away from red, but it's hearts. I'm thinking, is it pink? It's a cookie, I think. So I'm going to just use this magenta, which is a little bit pinkier. And this heart bit I'm thinking is jam. That's how I'm going to colour it anyway, as if this is sort of shiny jam. Nice sticky deliciousness. So darker in here. lighter in the centre. So I'm basically layering up as I go around the edge here. Whoops, going up the lines, of course. And then doing less layers towards the middle, so it sort of effectively gets lighter and lighter as you get towards the centre like that. And then these I'm going to try and make lighter in the middle. And then I'm going to do a sort of biscuity colour for the background, which I will find in a minute. I'm not sure what we've got. I'm sure there's something that will work. There we go. Now what have we got? Let's have a look. I think the Sun-Kissed is probably the best. I am going to start quite light though, just so I can see what it looks like once it's down and whether it looks like it works. It's a little bit orangey. I'm just going to put a layer down, quite a light layer as I said, not too hard. I might put a darker brown on top, make it look a bit more gingerbready. Because I'm thinking maybe that's what it is, gingerbread cookie. So just get that basic down and have a look. I think that honey brown that we used earlier is going to be the one I need. No, that's not it. There it is, honey brown. And again, a light touch. This set of pencils is quite similar to many others in that the browns are a bit more on the orangey side rather than on the grey side, so it looks a little bit more orangey, but I think it's okay. I think we can get away with it. Now cookies don't have a completely smooth texture, not that this does, but we can make that a little bit more obvious by putting a few lines and dots in it. Like this. And just working our way around really. Okay, so we've got two parts left, the bird and the bow. I've still got no idea what colour to do the bow. I think we should do the bird as a robin, which is nice and Christmassy. So the chest needs to be a sort of reddy orange. So I think the cadmium red might just do the trick. So we need to put it on here. Now robins are a mix of sort of red and grey, so we have a sort of red chest like that, and then it sort of fades off. We have grey, so I'm going to just leave that there for now, but there's also brown, so I'm going to do some brown in the body. I'm just looking to check. I am going to go for the chocolate. It's quite dark, but I'm going to apply it lightly. Okay, so chocolate. So start here at the tail. I'm just going to use these lines to guide me really. So put a little bit more on where there's a line. And just work along each tail feather. I think there would be some in there. Got these little ones here, which would also definitely be brown. I can't remember what colour their beaks are. But I'm going to go for a dark grey, I think. Now I think this back part is even lighter than the wings, so we're just applying it really gently like that. We'll fade that into a grey. Same on this bottom part here, like that. So now we need a brownish grey. We have the French grey, so that should work nicely for us. Here it is, French grey. Now, as I say, light touch. Just put a little bit on here, keep it pale, and then on around the head a bit more, a bit darker, so you can layer it up a little bit more. Think about the direction you're colouring as to which way the feathers will go. I think they would go this way, across the head. I think they might be that way, across that bit. And then I'm going to put a little bit on top down here as well. Now his beak, I'm thinking, ooh, all the greys aren't very brown. Oh, the pavement grey actually isn't too bad, we'll use that. Is that it? Yeah, pavement grey. I want it to be a little bit darker. It's going to be lighter at the top where the light's catching it. Could even leave a little white bit, I think I will. Like that, there he is. Now the bow. Now we have to decide, going to add a splash of colour, or we're going to keep it within our scheme. What I'm going to do is, I have decided, I've got a smudge of pencil there, we're just finding an eraser, is that I'm going to make the circles on our bow a yellow, quite a bright yellow, and then because then that will tone in a little bit with our bells. So, all of these quite bright. I can hear a dog barking. And then I'm thinking maybe a blue, just so that it's really different. I think blue and yellow can go really well. That's my thinking on this. Now some of these circles have got bits of darker areas drawn on them. I'm sort of ignoring it because this yellow doesn't layer up and go darker. So I'm just putting it down, and if I think it needs it after I've done the rest, I can use this sort of browner yellow or orangey yellow to add a little bit of extra shadow. I think it might be fine. Now choosing my blue, I want a blue that isn't too dark, that isn't too light. I'm thinking the cerulean is probably going to be the best choice. Yeah, cerulean. Now if you do want to colour along and you don't have these pencils, I'm going to put a light layer of this all over while I talk, so nothing special, just a light layer. Then there are some comparison charts that I've made with other brands, so you can match your nearest colour. The links to those are in the description of the video, so you can go and grab those. They're free. You can download them, you can print them if you want, or just look at them on your screen. They are available in a PDF, which is set up for printing, or there's an Excel file in case you want to change a few things. I think there's some spelling errors in the PDF which have been corrected in the Excel version, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, you might want to. And there's a swatched version and an unswatched version, so if you want to swatch it yourself you can, if you have the sets, or you can you know, just look at my swatches. They won't be completely accurate because of the fact they've been swatched and scanned, and your printer, your screen will be different to mine, your printer will be different to mine, that sort of thing, the inks and things. But it will just give you a little bit of a general idea if you want to go as close as you can to the colour. That's the point of it, really. That I know some people are like, well, I want to match your colours as close as I can, but I don't know what a cerulean blue is in my set. So it will just give you an idea. You might prefer to do something very different anyway. it doesn't matter, but it'll just give you an idea. So those are available, and it also, I think they're quite useful to look at if you're thinking of buying the set. The swatch chart perhaps more so than the comparison chart, but say you've already got a set of polychromos and you want to get a few extra colours, look at the comparison chart of this and your polychromos, and you'll be able to see whether the colours of these are very close to the polychromos or not. So now I'm going to start putting in some darker areas. So you might look at it and think, well, actually I can make all those colours with my polychromos really easily, so I don't think I'll bother. Or you might think, well, I don't like making colours, so I want to have that, or there's some really unique colours here, or whatever. It's up to you. I'm just going to go over this all a little bit more, to have it will allow you to just see what's there, what the colours are. Or you might think, well, my favourite colour is blue, I want to make sure there are loads of blues, or whatever, whatever your favourite colour might be. So that's another way to use the chart. There's loads of charts for loads of different pencil sets available to download, so you can just have lots of fun having a look and downloading them. But I realise it's quite confusing. On the in my Ko-fi shop there are so many. Now there are categories, so you can sort of just look at groups of them rather than all of them. And I've also written an article in my blog on my website, which is a sticky article, meaning it's always at the top, so you can go and have a look at that, and it explains it all it gives you the list in alphabetical order, and it's much easier with the link. So it will say, so you can look through and go, I want a polychromos swatch chart, so you can go down to P, find polychromos, click on it, and it brings up the swatch chart nice and easy for you. Come up a little bit. So I'm doing under here a bit darker because I think the berries might shadow it a bit. There we go. And then maybe it's actually marked as darker down here, so I'm just going over that. But I want to just take some of that colour further up. Like that. And the same on this side. Just putting the colour on the sort of lower bit where it would be more shadowed, and that's where it's marked as well. So the books these books have got a little bit of grayscale, can be quite useful just to help you just sort of think about where the darker areas might be. I don't always agree with them, to be honest, but it can be useful. But you can add a bit more if you think it needs it. Just looking and thinking, is that I think that's okay. We've missed a bit out though, this ribbon, and I think we need to put some blue here to balance this. I'm going to go for a slightly darker one though. That was cerulean, wasn't it? I think the marine blue will work. There it is. Quite a lot darker, but I think it's almost the same sort of tone. And let's have a look. So we've got this bit hanging down here. This bit up here. Now I think that bit is the bow around the candy cane. And then around there. There we are. So there is our completed picture, and a big pile of pencils by the side. That was quite a long video, but I had a lot of fun, and I hope it helped you a little bit, whether you're colouring this page or not, to give you a few different ideas for techniques and different things like that. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you have a really super day and happy colouring.